guy where he's at now, Jinder Mahal. Unbelievable. So, yeah, maybe we shouldn't be so surprised. But, yeah, we got Daniel Bryan up against Brock Lesnar. And, again, people will know both these guys. I'm massive fans of both of them, like, just as a fan perspective. So it was great for me because here I was having two of my favourite wrestlers up against each other. Daniel Bryan with a heel turn. I've got to say, Matt, I'm really surprised how in a short space of time nobody's he's playing the heel pretty well, and he's doing it to the point where nobody is really cheering, which is fascinating. Do want to give another shout out to Jimbo, Wrestler Squad number 9. He's been very proud of himself, Matt, as you can imagine, by calling this, that it was going to happen. I really didn't see the heel change either. I mean, I don't know what was more of a surprise, Daniel Bryan winning the belt or him being a heel, because like you said, Matt, every time you see him at live events, he's the one that gets the most sort of like crowd response. So it is a bit fascinating that they did make him a heel. But what I like about him at the moment, the way they seem to play him, Matt, is he's playing the heel that's not... He's playing it as if I'm smarter than you. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's playing it as if he's more intelligent than the rest of the guys, and that he knows how to get round, and he's kind of doing things that we all at home would actually think, why don't you just do that? Why don't you just leg it round the ring and just make a mockery and then just take him out of the legs or whatever? Like, that seems like how he was coming across, which I think is quite good, like, to sort of play it as if I'm better than everyone else, I'm smarter, I've been around the game more. So yeah, here we got a match then between Brock Lesnar and Daniel Bryan. And at first, Matt, I was expecting sort of rung bells of John Cena versus Brock from SummerSlam, where he just suplexed the hell out of him 16 times. And I thought that's what was going to happen here. I was really fearing for Daniel Bryan as well, taking those suplexes and the German suplexes and the belly-to-belly suplexes. I was thinking, blimey, this is it's almost like Daniel Bryan's just won the belt, and then this week on SmackDown, guess what? I've got some bad news. My injury's come back again. I've got to give it up. I just had those visions in my head when I was watching this at the beginning. But what I wasn't expecting was Daniel Bryan to have some decent offense. It was really good the way they did it, with the referee spot, like he came out of it and then just flew a flying kick in. And then, just worked on the legs. What was fascinating about it is you'd never believe, Matt, that Daniel Bryan and Brock Lesnar could make it look credible. But for me, everything he was doing in this, I was kind of believing it, Matt. What did you think of it? And because I have to say, I really enjoyed this. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much as I did. I like both guys, but I liked the way this was put together. I mean, whoever did this, whoever the agent was, needs a pat on the back. So I thought this delivered really well for me. What about you, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was very cleverly put together, especially when we know Brock is the more dominant on paper, and if it had to be written a way that Daniel Bryan had to have a good shot at it, that was perfect. They're flawless in the way that it was designed. Especially like the low blow, just the perfect time as well.
Yeah,
that will change the course of a match. Of course, even a guy like Brock Lesnar, he's going to feel
stole Nakamura's gimmick.
So, yeah, he did, but it works. So why not? It's a good one. I mean, probably Nakamura's feeling a bit disappointed. It doesn't work for him, but it works for Daniel Bryan. But yeah, like you said, I think good match, and better than I actually ever anticipated that it would be, or thought that it should be. I don't know what it was about this match, but I always came into these kind of things thinking, Brock Lesnar is in business for himself. He gets the best deal for himself, turns up when he wants. But looking at this, the way he carries himself as a champion now for WWE on this latest title run, I do feel like his kind of passion resides with wrestling. I feel like I do look at him now and think, he might not be there very often, but he does turn up and he does put on a great performance, and he knows how to work an audience and how to actually maximize the response to his matches. So I feel like he's definitely worth every penny that WWE invests in him.
Yeah, plus as well, with Brock Lesnar, when he respects you, his opponent, he he sells even better. Like, he sold for Daniel Bryan like $1 million. So I think people were thinking Brock's just going to go in there and, you know, he's not going to give him a lick. Now, if Brock Lesnar doesn't respect you, i.e. Dean Ambrose, what happened at WrestleMania that time, Matt, that we heard Dean Ambrose moan about after on the Stone Cold podcast, and that was the end of him for a while, wasn't it, after he said that? But, you know, Brock didn't give him a lick. You know, for some reason, he just didn't think, you know, he should be the guy and get much in. But if he respects you, like, I mean, I remember the same with AJ Styles this time last year, Matt. I remember thinking, blimey, I didn't know, I forgot Brock Lesnar could do that, you know, because we're so used to Brock just being this dominant suplex machine that you forget sometimes. Now he can actually work with guys. Like, you forget the matches with Kurt Angle that he had, with Chris Benoit, with Eddie Guerrero. You know, he's worked with a variety of people, not just big dominant guys. But of course, when he's in there with the likes of Braun and Roman, he has to be a little bit different. It is a physicality thing. You're not really going to get Roman Reigns kind of doing the whole wrestling stick with you, you know, putting you in an armbar or anything like that. It's just not their style for him and Braun. So, but when you get a guy like Daniel Bryan, who is all about that and uses all the submissions to a really good, legit way, it's like Brock will literally, you know, he'll sell well. And I felt Brock in this match sold a lot for Daniel Bryan, to the point where I actually was believing that for all this time, Matt, SmackDown have done, you know, absolutely sod all. This is it. They're going to give him this one. This is going to overshadow everything, because they're going to have Daniel Bryan, their big guy, win. And I was for a little while thinking he's winning. You know, I thought even if he has to cheat, I was thinking he's going to do it. But of course, in the end, Brock Lesnar wins. But I think it was a great outing for Daniel Bryan. And yeah, I was quite impressed with this match, I've got to be honest with you. And yeah, I gave this, I should give this 4 stars, but very close to a 4.5 for me. But yeah, a match going, I think it was around 12 minutes in the end, something like that. But it was a 12 minutes, 18 minutes. But yeah, very good match. What about for you, Matt? What do you give it on the star rating?
Yeah, you know, so it's disappointing everyone, but I'm agreeing with you again. It's 4 stars for me, because I got the result I wanted out of it. I mean, I think all like the amount of investment they put into Brock now. I don't want to say it would be a shame to give it to Daniel Bryan, but it definitely feels like whoever takes that has to carry on that legacy of dominance. And you know, I feel like it has to be. I would look to someone like Drew, like we said earlier in the show. I think Drew is that kind of build and that kind of mentality and that kind of passion for wrestling. You know, that he's gonna keep going, and he could be WWE's hand chosen guy. I mean, years ago, Vince McMahon did say he was the guy. So
yeah,
you know, it could be his destiny. Who knows?
Yeah, I said that on the mini podcast. I said that's how I would like the story to play out, where Drew, you know, maybe wins at the Royal Rumble, and one of the big things I really want, though, if he does do it, Matt, I don't want a run where he has to face Dolph Ziggler. I don't want it, and I don't want him to turn face. Yeah. I just want him to win, and then I want him on the night he faces Brock to turn babyface in the match, where he gets the big win, and that gets him over anyway. But I don't want it, because it's the moment you know as well as I do, Matt, the moment WWE, no matter how well things are looking for Drew at the moment, if WWE go into the Royal Rumble and they have him win, and then he I don't know, he becomes a baby face, all the fans they'll know that WWE have pinpointed him as the guy, and he's going to be the guy, and that's when they start rejecting it. You've got to do it where he's going to stay a heel, go in against Brock, get him there, and then do it during the match. Do this guy working his socks off, get him over to give him the win over Brock. That's how you get him over. And you know, fans will buy into him, because they'll want their own guy. And I think Drew's got the look. I think he's got the I think he's got the ability. And like you say, Matt, they can play this a million ways with him and Brock, because you know Vince is obviously a Brock guy, but you also know you could bring into play, you know, years and years ago, he was Vince McMahon's chosen one, and where that went, and he can kind of like really rebel into that. So, but what I wouldn't like to see is him split off from Dolph and have to go for a program of that. Oh God, I'm not interested. I just want to see two guys or a form or a group stay together for a while. What's wrong with that? You know. So anyway, following the show, Matt, Survivor Series, not too bad a pay-per-view, to be honest with you. We went into Raw. Unfortunately, everything I wanted to see in Raw wasn't there. I was kind of crying out for more Daniel Bryan Brock by this point, you know, and Charlotte and Ronda, but you know they're on different brands, so it's really hard. And for the first hour, Matt, we got really bad jokes about Yuri, and it's just probably why I don't let some of my non-wrestling fans watch it with me anymore from things like that. It was just really like bad stuff. Wasn't really that entertaining. And then and then you know the match, like there was stuff going on for ages. It was just, I don't know. It's just Raw for me was just really bland. Like it was just like there wasn't enough stuff to fill 3 hours with, so they stretched out. Like they stretched out that thing with that match at the beginning, Matt, and they didn't even have a winner at the end. So I think that was a complete waste of time. Might as well just have had a 12-minute match, and if you knew that was going to happen. So I don't know. What did you think of Raw, Matt, and any great things for you? Because I thought this was a great opportunity for WWE after this to sort of, you know, get everybody pumped again and go again. But the idea of Baron Corbin versus Braun doesn't really set me on fire, Matt, going into TLC. I've got to be honest.
Yeah, it's not a massive match. I think we know which direction that's going to go in. But can I see Braun versus Brock again? Really? Don't go there. But it looks like we're going there. But nothing really stood out on Raw. It was all pretty run of the mill, just churning out match by match, you know, with no real direction of who they really want to stick behind. I mean, Nia gets the nod, of course, because she's coming to a high profile match. This whole Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose thing, wow, that's like really going all over the place and in different directions.
I didn't like the fact they brought in Roman's leukemia thing again. Like, I just think, look. I just don't like the fact that you know Roman's going through this now, and there might be a case of Roman going, you know what, I don't mind you guys using it, but this is where WWE need to think about what they sort of deliver, because you know 1 minute is fine or it's not acceptable to do these things. They're trying to promote these charities, but yet they're gonna just allow this to happen in their storylines that everybody knows they have complete control over. It just doesn't sit that well with me in this instance. And you know, I know we had an email and someone said, you know, he couldn't understand why there was so much backlash to what Dean was saying, but because he said, you know, they do it in films and TV series all the time, and I'm like, yeah, they do, but those guys are never playing themselves. I mean, it's not like you've got, I don't know, trying to think of somebody here. What's his name? Robert Downey Jr., for instance. Robert Downey Jr. doesn't play himself and then start talking about, you know, it's like having someone in a film who's legitimately going through cancer at the moment and then talking about, you know, using it in a film. Of course it's not. They play characters in a film. It's a story. It's written. It's completely different. In wrestling, you know, they're playing themselves. They're playing their real names. So that's where there's a big difference, and of course they're in front of an audience, so there is a difference to that. I know people would say it's like a film, but it's not really, because it's not like, you know, Robert Downey Jr. would be saying it himself, is it? So it didn't sit well for me. And of course there's some more antics come out now as well. The link you sent me before we went on, Matt, about Stephanie McMahon's comments that have not gone down too well either. So not a great Raw in those terms at all, is it?
No, I mean, well, I can understand, like, yeah, they want to make Dean the most despicable, dirty human being going, but wow, you know, what a line to go beyond. I mean, he delivered that line, like, so cold, you know, but he must be even he must think, yeah, well, there's certain things that people, when they comes out of their mouth, you feel like you can't say that because, you know, you just don't believe it.
It's trashy to me.
It's a weird direction for WWE to give the nod to and say, yeah, actually that sounds cool. For me, it would have been completely understandable as well to go with the whole storyline of, you know, leave Roman out of it. It doesn't matter about Roman. Like, Roman's not here anymore. That's why I never forgave you, Seth, for what you did. You know, that would still be an an acceptable storyline. This